in my head are really mean. They say I'm better dead than living, and I think that I start to believe them. Grab for anything to take away the pain that I'm feeling. Got monsters in my brain, they count on me. So I just keep on walking. Put up my fist and I fight, cause it's worth it that I try to stay alive. I'm emotional, I guess that you could say that. Balance like a needle in a haystack. But I think of all of the people by me, and I'm thankful that they smile back at me. Accept me for myself, I'm just simple, little temperamental.
Hey, hello and welcome to the 206. My name is Mark, coming to you from Seattle, Washington, and this is Twitching It Up, a Twitch streamer interview series. Twitch is a streaming platform for gamers, singers, and all kinds of content creators from all over the world. My goal with these interviews is to give some insight into the lives of people who use Twitch as a platform to share their talents and engage with their communities. Now, so far during season 2, we've traveled to Manila in the Philippines to meet NicoleForcadela, and also to Sydney, Australia to chat with HeymunMusic. Now we're headed right back to the United States, right here on the West Coast, to speak with Janel Nabong, who on Twitch is known as the one and only pirate princess, nelNellynel. Janel, welcome to the 206. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Now, Janel, first thing I want to say before I actually ask you a question is you have one of the most unique and beautiful voices that I've heard on Twitch, and your original songs, they're just so well written with so much meaning put into every word. I just want to get that out of the way before we start talking about Twitch, and then we'll actually come back to that later as well. But I just had to get that out there for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you've been on Twitch since March 2021, although you do have experience with live streaming on other platforms as well. So when did you discover Twitch, and what made you decide to join the platform?
Um, and it's around March 2021. I
Sure.
actually don't remember.
Oh,
Um,
that's okay.
but it's around that time.
Yeah, sure.
But I started live streaming in general in 2019, and I wasn't going to I didn't even think about live streaming in the first place.
Mm,
But I was approached by another company, and they were just starting up, and they asked me if I wanted to live stream music, because that was their whole thing. And I was like, sure. And so I tried it out. I thought it was I thought it wasn't real, but but I tried it anyways, and it turned out that I kind of liked it. And then I stopped for a while because I was thinking that um I don't know, I had like my self-doubts, and I was like, I'm
mm,
not cut out for this. This
yeah.
isn't for me. And then I came back, and then I liked it, and then I left that platform after a while. And then I started on YouTube, live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was cool because I have videos on YouTube anyway. So people that watch my videos found my live stream.
Uh,
And then, yeah. And then another friend of mine, I don't know if you know him, Fernando Ufret. Do you know him? He comes to my stream sometimes. He's also a
yeah.
streamer.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he started on Twitch, and then he was telling me his experience and if I wanted to join. And so because
Uh,
of his experience and like reference and stuff, then I joined and became an affiliate pretty soon. And then I just continued on there, and then I just really loved it. And that's how my I started.
Oh, that's amazing. So getting started, transitioning from a different platform and knowing what you knew, how to do that type of thing on YouTube, what would you say was the biggest challenge you ran up against starting on Twitch as a completely different platform?
It was totally like a technical thing. Like I didn't
Mm,
know I never really went on Twitch in the past. I knew what it was, but I didn't really know how to navigate. Plus, I didn't, especially like being a streamer, I didn't know how to do anything. Like, for example, you see when people recommend stuff, you see like the names of the songs come up on stream, or
right.
the explosions of stuff that happen on screen when someone like subscribes or something. And I didn't know how to do that. And it was a very big learning curve. And so I had to learn that. And then I think after that, then it was a lot easier once I got over the technical aspect of it. that was like the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think that's probably the same story or similar story for just about anybody who starts on Twitch, because there's
Yeah.
just so much to know from, which type of streaming platform do you use, what type of things do you add, what works for you. So it sounds like it was a fairly smooth transition for you.
Yes, because I had help from other like people that already streamed,
Mm.
and so pretty much my whole experience coming to Twitch is all thanks to them. I think if I was just by myself, I I wouldn't have done a lot of things. I'm so sorry. My cat is coming here, but you see her a lot from my
No,
streams.
absolutely. Yeah, that's Kiara, and
Yeah.
Kiara is a big part of your stream, so we're happy to have her on here as well.
Yeah, thank you. This is my princess monster.
Oh, look at that.
This is Kiara.
Hello, Kiara.
And sometimes she just gets mad when I don't give her attention and I'm on here.
No,
So
I'm happy to have Kiara as part of the interview. That's amazing. And she can sit there as long as she wants.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Janelle, you recently hit 2,000 followers on Twitch, which, no matter how you look at it, that's an impressive achievement for the amount of time you've been on the platform and just in general. So what does that mean to you to be able to build that type of following over time?
I actually I mean it's really humbling and cool to reach that number, but I never really was one to focus on the number
Mhm.
of it. Also because it kind of takes away the joy of streaming in the first place if I'm just like basing my experience on how many followers I get
Yeah.
or I mean I think it's a the frosting on top of of the whole foundation
Yeah.
of it. But I think I just think of it as like, oh, people really enjoy Tortuga Tavern. And I think that's cool. Like a lot of things that people say when they come to the community that I'm kind of really proud of is that they feel that they belong and that
Mm.
that it's friendly and that they connect with everyone. And I think that's cool because when I listened to music when I was younger, or whatever, or if I like listen to a person's lyrics and I feel like I can relate to them, and it's less lonely that way. And
Mm.
so I remember when I first started making music in the first place that was my goal is to if there was like one person on the opposite side of the world that liked my music and everyone hated it, it would still be it would still be worth it because I was able to do that for someone. And so I think that's what keeps me going is that feeling. I can't focus on the numbers too much.
Right. No,
But it's
absolutely.
cool on the frosting on top. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a great way of looking at it. So thank you. Now, in what ways do you feel that you've grown as a person thanks to your experience on Twitch?
Definitely with confidence and everything. When I was growing up, I was really shy. I didn't whenever I tried singing in front of people, I like whisper sang because I was like, "Oh goodness, they can hear me." I mean, I want them to hear me, but they can hear me.
Yeah.
So, what do I do? And I think that streaming for the first time in 2019 helped me because I was really awkward when I streamed because I didn't know what to do. That's also why I started would you rather questions
Oh
because
yeah.
I didn't want to be if there was a awkward moment where it was kind of quiet, then I would be like, "Oh, let's ask a question." And so that always like gave me content for it. But I think the whole experience it helped me not really or it helped me be more of myself and not really care about anything else. I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh no, absolutely. I totally get that. That's a great way of putting it. So I think the confidence factor is something that's probably the most impactful for you over the time of being able to put your music out there, not just record because you've done music videos and you're on
Mhm.
Spotify and YouTube, but to be able to do it in this real time format. I think wouldn't you say that it's a totally different way of presenting your music, right?
Uh, streaming versus actually making music?
Right, like having it out there live, while you're, singing, the
Mhm.
audience is right there reacting in real time.
Yeah, yeah, it's very different. When, like, recording my stuff, I I mean, obviously, there's not an audience watching, and then sometimes if I record stuff and I don't like a take, then I can do it again
Right.
and do it multiple times until I really like it. For streaming, anything that happens, it's live and you can't really take it back. I remember this one time, I think that anything that can happen on stream will happen.
Yeah.
So there's this one time where I was singing, I was really into this song, the high part was coming up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna nail it. And then as I was singing the last part and I was gonna reach that high note, I saw a bug, and I was
Oh
like, what
no.
are the chances of it just like going into my mouth? And so I sang, and the bug went into my mouth, and I
No.
was like, it was the most disgusting thing ever.
Oh,
And I know, but then after that happened, I was like, the worst thing happened. Everything
right.
after this is fine. And so, I mean, that I think it's also just the magic of live streaming. You get to like connect with your audience in that
Right.
way. And I think that's a good thing.
No, absolutely. That I never knew that story before. That's, like
Yeah,
you said, what could possibly go wrong, and that's probably something you would never think of. But of course, that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's an amazing story, and hopefully that never gets repeated either. So
I hope
now we're talking about songs that you sing. You have your originals. There's also you have a song list of all kinds of different songs that you cover from other singers that are out there. So what do you have any certain covers that are your favorites? Like when people request them, you're like, oh yes, I get to sing this song today.
I really like the songs that I can get lost in.
Mm,
For example, if I were to sing something and then I just forget about the audience or whatever,
yeah,
not in a mean way
sure.
or not in a bad way, but I think that uh the reason why I like playing music is because I also enjoy it. And so if I enjoy it, then I don't know how to explain it, but you can just tell when someone is enjoying something and
Yeah,
not just performing in front of others, because there's a certain kind of magic that happens there and
right.
it's like you're relating to it. And so whenever I can feel a song, then that's my favorite cover at that time. And so if I do a new cover and I have that feeling, then that's one of my favorite covers, no
Nice.
matter what kind of song it is. And
Sure.
so yeah.
Oh, I love that answer. And it really is important, like you just said, if you can absolutely tell when a singer is really into a song or if they're just kind of, okay, I'm gonna sing this because I'm supposed to sing this now. And I feel like that's one of the things that is that magic that you just mentioned about your stream is I feel like every song that you have on your song list is there for a reason and you enjoy it for a reason and you enjoy singing it for a reason. So I'm glad you were able to go into that for a moment there. That's great insight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, is there one singer or group out there that you would say has had the biggest influence on who you are as an artist?
Uh-huh. Paramore, 21 Pilots, Linkin Park. Those are the first ones that pop into my head. And the
Sure.
reasons for that is, for example, for Paramore, Hayley Williams is the lead singer. And
Yep.
ever since I first heard her, like with the power in her voice, but also the way she can emote feelings, I always was inspired by
Mm,
that because it just felt authentic. And so that was inspiring also because I grew up kind of like a punk rock kid. And so I just love that part of it. And then with 21 Pilots, the reason why I like that is because especially when they first started out, the lead singer, Tyler, I felt like his lyrics were very poetic and they had substance and they had like a deeper meaning to them, and it was really rare to see that compared to all the other music out there. I mean, other music is fine, but it's really rare for me to really connect with a song on a deeper level. Kind of
yeah.
like you're listening to a poem with music on top of it,
Yeah.
but and then the stuff that he would write about has a lot to do with things that people go through mentally. And I mean, I have my problems, and so that relates to me like a lot.
Sure.
And then, of course, with Linkin Park, that was just one of my favorite bands growing up, even still is right now.
Mm,
And I think their sound is very unique. I remembered watching this one thing where they talked about their band forming in the first place, and a lot of people told them that they're not going to make it because no one ever makes rock and rap together, and that's just two
uh,
opposite things, and they shouldn't do that. But that's what when they did that, that's what made them stand out. And so I don't know, I listened to them a lot growing up because I just, again, like really related to the stuff they talked about, or even just their sound. Their sound was great.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think those are some great examples, and you can tell in your music and just how you sing of those exact influences. I think maybe first and foremost would be Paramore in that. I think you're exactly right about that influence. Now, also, Janelle, I want to dive deeper into that a little bit. And you've mentioned in the past, whether it's on your bio for Twitch or just things that you've talked about, you've mentioned how music has literally saved your life in some instances. And you also hope that your own songs might do the same for other people. So would you mind giving a little background on exactly what that means for you?
Yeah. So just like I was saying from earlier, if I made music and everybody hated it, but there was one person on the opposite side of the world that maybe doesn't even speak English that listened to my song and felt the feelings of it from the music that I create and it helps them in some way, then I think it's worth it. And I think that it was very encouraging when I started streaming or even got letters from people from the other side of the world that would tell them that, or that would tell me that my music has helped them in some way or help. I mean, there was this one person that even said it helped them want to continue living, and I was
Wow.
like, that's it. I don't know. It has that weird feeling where it's so humbling, and it's something that I created was able to help another person, and I think that is a whole magical experience in itself. Because when I was growing up, that's exactly what music did for me. I would go through a lot of different stuff, but whenever I would listen to someone's song that I didn't even know that person, but for some reason that person is talking about something that I'm going through, then it's able to help me on a completely different level. And I wanted to do that for other people. Um just because I don't know. I wanted to be someone that could offer that kind of thing. And I think it's very important to me too because sometimes making music, not even streaming, but just like making music, because I make my own music, and it's very uh intensive. Like there's a lot of things that happen that makes me want to quit.
Mm,
And so I have to think of why I'm doing it.
yeah.
And so that's what helps keep me going, if that makes any
Wow.
sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes absolute sense. So yeah, thank you for going into that. And I think having that as an inspiration probably adds a lot of authenticity to the music that you write and the songs that you put out there and produce. And that actually was going to lead to my next question is, can you kind of go into your songwriting process? Like what inspires you to write a particular song? Like, do you have a plan ahead of time or does the lyrics just kind of come to you? And can you go into that?
Yeah. So there's different ways that I can write something. I think it's very important that when you have an idea or you feel it's very important for me to actually feel something. If I force myself to write about something specific that I think people will like, but I'm not really feeling it, then it's hard for me to finish that song.
Right.
But sometimes I would hear the music in my head and I really want to create this and it sounds like it might be a sad song or a happy song. And then later I'll add lyrics to it based on how the music feels like. But other times I would think of lyrics first. Like, for example, I have this journal or whatever that I would write about things that happened during the day, even if it is really, really basic things like, oh, I was walking outside and I was really happy and I had an ice cream cone, but it fell on the ground and I
Oh.
hated it, or something like that. Then I would write about it.
Sure.
And then later I would come back to my journal with a highlighter and then I would read and I would highlight the keywords or like key moments where it sounds like it could be a cool song or cool lyrics. And then I would make the music after that where I know what I want to say and it has an actual message about something. Then I would write that way. But I have to feel it because if I don't feel it, I'm not going to finish it.
Right,
Because
right.
I'm, yeah, cause, yeah, I would get distracted if I don't feel something.
No, that's a really good point that you bring up is you have to have that emotional attachment to it. It can't
Mhm.
be just something like, oh, I'm going to write this because I'm going to write this. So I love the fact that you're able to draw most of that from your own life experience. And, whether it's just piecing it together from different things or like one particular thing that really is something that you're emotionally attached to. I think that's really why people connect to your music and everybody seems to when you perform it on the stream. So I feel like that's most of, if not all of the reason why. So thank you for going
Mhm.
into that. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, how much I love your voice and your original songs. And at this point, Janelle, we've talked about it. We've come to that point of the interview. I would love it if you would sing one song here today. So is that all right with you? Can I get a song for the interview?
Sure, I would love to.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And which song would you like to sing today?
I was thinking about my song Breathe because it was an equally it was fun to write, but also equally hard to write about it because I had to tap into vulnerable parts of
Mm,
how I think, but also I had a concept in mind for when I did write it in the first place. And the concept is like if someone out there was going through the worst time in their life and they are thinking about very negative things that they would want to do. I mean, because that stuff happens. like
yeah,
to I mean, everyone goes through their hardships and everything like that. And if I were to write them a letter, like what am I supposed to say? What will help them, but also I don't want to push them farther because sometimes when you want to help someone, even if your intentions are good, sometimes it's you would say things that rubs them the wrong way. I mean, it just happens.
sure.
And not that they don't want your help, but they're going through such a vulnerable time where they can be very sensitive because I'm like that a lot of the times. And so with the song Breathe, I was thinking that when I am talking to the person, sometimes it's the hardest thing to do anything when you're going through something. But as long as you just focus on if you continue breathing, then it'll be okay and I'll breathe with you. And it's a really basic thing to do is just to breathe through something, but sometimes even that is hard. But if you continue doing that, then we'll be okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that idea and that concept. So at this point, I'm ready, Janelle. So whenever you're ready, the stage is yours. I give the floor to you.
Okay, thank you.
Are you okay? It's in the air. I know it hurts the pain, just so much to bear. Just grab a hold, we'll take it slow. Just hold on tight, don't you let go. Feel the world escaping, can't hardly breathe. Ooh. I know you hurt right now. It's getting loud, can't stop bleeding. Silently crying out, please help me now. I'm dying, just trying every single way to make this go away. This feeling, I know it hurts right now. It's getting loud, just breathe with me. We push away, self-medicate, and drag our blades to mask our pain. Just grab a hold, we'll take it slow. Just hold on tight, don't you let go. Feel the world escaping, can hardly breathe. Ooh.
Janelle, thank you so much. I love that song. I really appreciate you, singing the song and singing that particular song. And I'm sure everyone watching enjoyed it at least as much as I did as well. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for letting me play it for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Janelle, one thing that you mentioned earlier, and I want to expand on it, is you mentioned Tortuga Tavern. So, what is Tortuga Tavern? How did it get started? And it's just such a big part of who you are and what your stream is. So, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, how it started, I give like 110% of the credit to my community, especially I know you've seen him in chat. He goes by Cultazor, but
Yeah.
I also call him Captain Baker Jason.
Yeah.
And he has like the best ideas where he just thinks of things like even the name Tortuga Tavern. He's the one that thought of it.
Oh wow.
And how it started is it was during the time I streamed on the first platform that I started on,
Sure.
and I was doing one of my would you rather questions, and it was like, if you if you had, which one would you choose? Having super smell or having super eyesight or hearing or something? And my community, one of the people in my community, he goes by like Lord Matsuzaki. But he said that he wants super smell so he can smell treasure. And
Uh-huh.
then other people started following him and they were like, oh, can I join you in your treasure hunt and stuff? And then other people were like, we can be like pirates and stuff. And I don't know why, but that stuck with me, and I just really like that idea of it started becoming like a role play kind of thing where people
Sure.
joined in just on their own, and I thought it was really fun. And then I think how it happened is Captain Baker Jason came back and just randomly said Tortuga Tavern, and it started building off from there, and I wanted to create a community where it's like I want to make something where people belong like on stream, but it's an even it's a different level of it when you can role play with something and you're actually something like a character in this awesome story. And so if you can become a captain with your own ship at Tortuga Tavern, that
Yeah.
has a different effect. And so then I made like my whole logo on stream that says like Tortuga Tavern, and that's how it started. And then after that, I started saying my intro to what Tortuga Tavern is, but I've said it so much that it's become like the official intro when I do an intro to my stream when I first start the stream. And that's how it kind of started. And then I started calling people captain just for fun when I first started the whole Tortuga Tavern thing, but I've done it so much again where now I just do it, and sometimes I forget that I'm doing it.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and that's how it started, and I just went from there, and I really like pirates. So it's even better. So yeah, that's how it started.
I love that it was built out from the community, that it's
Yeah.
not just something that you sat down and said, "Hey, this is what I want to do," because then it has more meaning that way, and it's more of an organic thing. And I just love how all in you are with it, from like you mentioned of calling everybody captain, all
Mhm.
the emotes that you have, your overlay, like everything is about Tortuga Tavern, and it creates that really welcoming environment. Like you want to be a part of it, and you want to be a captain, and you want
Mhm.
to get that greeting and that welcome and all of that. So thank you for explaining that. And you'd mentioned your mod Captain Baker Jason, and that's one thing I really enjoy about your stream as well, is not just him but your entire mod crew that you have.
Mhm.
Very welcoming, very fun. They're there for you. They seem to have your back 100%. So can you
Mhm.
talk about your mod crew a little bit, just to give them a bit of a shout out?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. I was like, "Can I give them a shout out?" Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, literally, I would be nothing without my mods. I get flustered really easy, and so they help me like keep a calm head and stuff. But yes, Captain Bigger Jason, Captain David who goes by Damie, Captain Gamaliel who goes by Gamaliel, uh, Captain Mike who goes by Mike, and then Captain Yazin Bessie's sister who goes by Sweetest Potato Twin. They're all my mods, and they help me so very much because sometimes I just miss something from chat too. But it happens on other streams where if a person that is new to Tortuga Tavern, they ask like, "Where's the song list?" or they ask questions, then my mods would take care of that, or they would remind me. Um, like, hey, I have an appointment that's coming up, you should start like singing your last songs or whatever. And I really appreciate that, because if I were just doing everything by myself, it I think that I would be so flustered with everything that it would kind of take away from me enjoying the stream. Not that
Right.
I don't want to enjoy it, but it's like the creative part versus the technical part. If you just focus so much on the technical part, then it takes away from the fun of creativity. And so, yeah, I would literally be nothing without them. And so, yeah.
No, absolutely. And for anybody who's watching this that isn't super familiar with Twitch, what we're talking about is mods, is moderators, people who kind of manage the stream in a sense, from, like you said, from a technical standpoint, and also from, I guess, in a way, a customer service standpoint as well, of greeting people and making sure that everybody's having a really great experience. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that they get mentioned, because I know they do such a fantastic job for you. And I agree. It's, you know, as much as you bring to the stream as much as you do, it really helps that you're able to just focus on that creative aspect of it, and for you to just be Janelle, and for you to be nelNellynel and give that presentation. So yeah, all the respect in the world to your mod crew. So thank you for talking about them for a moment. Now,
Yeah.
for them being an inspiration for you, I'm sure there's a lot of people that we could talk about that inspire you. You know, you mentioned some of your musical influences as well, but who inspires you that's not a singer or a streamer?
Oh, um, inspired me like to stream or just in
Just
general?
in general, who's an inspiration in your life?
Um, Oh, that's difficult because a lot of people that inspire me. I guess this is also kind of my answer. A lot of people that do inspire me, even if they're not, um, quote, like a famous singer or
Mhm.
famous something, is anybody who is creative. Because sometimes when I see their process and I see them really enjoying something, it actually makes me want to do it myself. Or if I'm uh, since I am kind of just a creative person, but sometimes I have bad days and I don't want to do anything, but I see another person who is also having a really bad day or even a worse day than me, but they continue doing their passion or they push through it or they create something, then it makes me want to do that also. And like a person who also um helps me or inspires me a lot is also my mom, because
Mm,
she goes through a lot of hardships herself, but she's like one of the strongest people I know, and she's the one that like taught me how to be kind and how to I don't know, just appreciate stuff and be appreciate in a way to be like humble and not brag about things like that. And I try my best to be like that. But as far as like non-famous people, I think she has also been very inspirational, where that kind of tells me how I want to carry myself, if
right.
that if yeah, if that makes sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And I think if you who you are is any indication of who your mom is, I think she's definitely worthy of being that inspiration, because it sounds like she's an amazing woman, you know, just to the way you're describing it, and like I said, of who she has raised you to be. So I think that's probably the best answer there that you could give. So thank you for going
Mhm.
into that. Now, Janelle, we've come to the final question, and you know, this is a question that I always ask of everybody to close things out. So think back a moment at everything that you've experienced since you've started on Twitch. And what's the first thing that comes to mind that makes you feel gratitude?
Oh, okay, I have two things. The one thing I
Yeah.
forgot to mention for your last question is
Yeah.
also my dad.
Ah, okay.
Because he also goes through a lot of things, and I think we have a lot of similar experiences. He's actually really into music in the first place, and so
Mm,
I started developing a love for music because of him.
ah,
Or he like plays guitar like every day. Um, and I think that's also something that sparked my interest in music in the first place. And so
sure.
he's really inspiring.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you said that out of my whole experience, what has given me the most gratitude? I think you
Yes,
said um gratitude in a way, or like what I appreciate with everything, or what do you mean?
sure. Yeah, just what gives you kind of that warm, you know, thankful feeling when you think about your Twitch experience?
I think it's definitely the community where it can be either I am rating someone or I have been rated, and I think that that's one of the things I like most about Twitch is the whole rating aspect of it. Because uh in the first platform that I was in, I won't I won't say what name it is,
It's okay.
but it was very competitive. Like that's also part of the reason why I left is because they kind of put artists against each other, like who is the best and who can raise the most money. And I
Sure,
didn't really like that. It took away from my experience, from the creativity and the joy of it.
sure.
And so with Twitch, when you get to raid someone, it's like you're bringing your community to them or they're bringing it to you, and that is a way that you're supporting someone that you probably don't even know. And then afterwards, then you get to know each other and then possibly be even friends or something. Or and then the other aspect of it is my community. I think one of the most things that I'm grateful for is my community, because I feel like they're one of the most friendly, I don't know, the friendliest community ever. And they, whenever I start streaming, I see them giving each other hugs or like
Yeah.
supporting each other. If one person's having a bad day, I see like 5 other people telling them, oh, it's okay, here, I'm giving you a hug, or something like that. Or everyone calling each other captain too. uh it makes me happy. And then sometimes if I I mean, it's happened where I may be ending stream and I tell everyone that I am thankful for you. Thank you for letting me sing for you. And then sometimes a person or a few people would say, no, thank you for even being here because you help us. And then it just like, it makes me kind of emotional where because that it makes me emotional because that was my goal in the first place. Like when I told you that I make music or I want to do stuff because I want to help another person who is probably on the opposite side of the world. And when I see people in chat, like sometimes people are from like Denmark or
Yeah.
from uh one person came from, oh, there was like one person that came from Pakistan or something like that, and they said that they're not really allowed to watch this kind of thing
Oh,
on
wow.
the internet, and so they have to go around it just to watch so they have that experience of it. And so
Hmm.
it's literally what I want is affecting someone from the opposite side of the world who doesn't really speak my language but is affected. And
Wow.
so I think that's one thing that I'm grateful for because I think I just got fortunate with it and I don't want to take it for granted. So I think that's one of the big things that I'm grateful for.
No, absolutely. I love that. And just the to be able to have that type of impact on anybody just around the world is so huge. And I think that really speaks a lot to how you present yourself, who you are on your stream. And so thank you for that answer. And Janelle, I'm grateful to have met you this over this last year. I don't even know how long it's been, but or whatever
Uh-huh.
it's, several months or so, and I've followed your Twitch journey for that long. And, I'd like to also take a moment to acknowledge you for who you are based on what you're saying and everything we've talked about it. Really what I see when I watch you and get to know you is I see a human being that gives everything that you have to what you love. Your music, your streams, your community, they all mean so much to you, and the passion that you have for all of that just comes across in everything that you do. So thank you, Janelle, just for existing. I know that's not always the easiest thing
Thank
to do
you.
either, but you truly do make a difference in the world. So I just wanted to make sure that that is conveyed back to you as well, because I think that's important. So Janelle, thank you for all of that, and thank you for doing this interview today.
Yeah, thank you. I have one question for you actually.
Yes.
How did you find my stream in the first place?
That is a great
No.
question. I'm sure it was via a raid, like you were just
Oh, okay,
mentioning,
okay.
talking about
Uh-huh.
raids, although I
Mhm.
don't remember who it would have been.
Okay.
I don't even want to speculate because it may or may not be wrong. But yeah, I'm sure it was through somebody decided to raid you, and that's how I discovered you. And honestly, I don't remember that specific day, but what I do remember is that I was like instantly like, oh, I really like this person, and the whole Tortuga Tavern, like we talked about, and just obviously your voice, like I've complimented you a couple times, but I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure that's what it would have had to have been, was through a raid.
Mhm. Oh, okay, makes sense. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for always coming back also. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. So everybody, this is Janel Nabong. My name is Mark, and this is the 206 Twitching It Up interview series. Now, you can find Janel on Twitch under the name nelNellynel, and you can also go to her website, which is JanelNabongOfficial.com, where you'll find original music and her art, along with links to her social media, YouTube, and Spotify channels. So just follow her every which way that you can and listen to her music, watch her stream. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel as well. Hit the like button and also check out 206.com, the official home of all content from the 206. Thank you so much. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.